In 1989, a coin collector appraised this coin collection, 2 pages, itemized coin collection, for $2,081.08. They wanted to sell it to us. So how did this hold up to inflation, keeping this collection? And we're going to look at some of the values here and what we would pay typically on average. This was actually appraised by Steve's dad back in 1989 when silver was $5.10 per ounce. And we're going to take a look at it because we purchased a collection and we'll talk about what we paid for it. So let's get started. But before we do that, my name is Daniel and you're watching Coin Help You. Thanks for watching my latest video. Here is my help community. I want to remind everybody and tell new subscribers that we have a help community over here. I see a lot of questions in the comments. I get a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls. This is the only place that I can help you guys. A lot of you are in California. A lot of you are in New York. You're in down south, and you're just too far away. I don't do text, but you have to use this help community. I have a mint error guide here. You can click on that, and it'll open up. And yes, I do have ads, but it's free. You don't have to click on the ads. You can click them off, like this, and click them off. But I've got a nice little mint error guide here. Help you out. You can, right here, how to post a new topic. There's a video down here to show you how to do it. Also, fortunescoinshop.com. This is where we sell our coins at. Look at the link in the description of this video or a pinned comment. All you got to do is scroll down below the video there. Here's the silver dollars. Now, he tried to grade them. He was really good at it. He actually was, he used to come into my grandpa's coin shop. Steve's dad did, and Steve used to too, down on Thomas Avenue. It used to be a grocery store, and then Grandpa turned it into a coin shop in the 70s, early 80s, and when silver was up. Here is an itemized list of all the silver dollars. There was an 03S, Rimnix 850, a 96 plain, 1475, and AU50. So, you're looking at a little over melt, close to melt for some of them. You're looking at over melt for these. He was putting a collector's value on these. And 1921, $10, $9.50. A lot of dealers were, going to pay less than $5 in 89 because of the fact that was, 9 years after the Hunts brothers, and grading companies were just starting to kick in. And honestly, I think 91 was one of the bigger years for graded coins as far as value is concerned before it settled out. But all these coins, never saw a grading company, and they never saw anything but a collector's, basically from a store. I think most of these were from a store, though. People brought, coins into the store. Not Grandpa's, but Steve's family members. So all of these that you see here, this 92S, you're looking, it said very fine. I think that was a little high for it. But still, yet you're looking at an $80 coin. The rest of these are pretty much common dates except for the CCs. The CCs were, for the lowest grades, like this one, let's see, one of them here is low grade, very good, 8. We're $80, and I went 125 for the 90, 100, 120, something like that. And a lot of these here, about $35 to $39, depending on the condition. So as you can see, the total there was $661, so we were a lot higher than that. But we'll talk about my total here in a minute. Ike dollars, $1 each. We're pretty much still at $1 each when they're circulated to $1.25.50. So we can sell them for $2 to $3 a piece. We put them in most of their scratch and dent lots. Then we have a customer that comes in and buys 20 of them. They give them out to the kids at the church. Seated Liberty, G4, $11. You're looking in it's a 50-cent piece, so you're around $25, $30 in these conditions. And he said it's worth 30, so basically double, pretty close to double. And Barber halves, same thing. Silver's up. When you've got the melt value at $16, $17, $18, I think it's $18. Now today it's probably closer to 20. It's at 52, so we're around $19, $18 melt value on these. One of them's got a hole in it. You can see where they were at. I mean, he was less, or at least pretty close to melt, but less on some of them that were hold. It's like I said, even a coin collector that was experienced back then knew that you were going to get less for a damaged coin, even back then. And at 89, I was 19 years old. I was in college at the time. And really remarkable penmanship, too, actually. I'd have trouble doing all this. So anyways, Walking Liberty halves, same thing. I mean, we're talking 250 to 485, depending on the condition of it. I'm not sure why some of these are 485, unless it's because some are just AG. So he did go by condition on those. Let's see. And most of them are in, less than $6, less than $5.50, down to $2.50. $6 on one of them. It says they're very fine. Then we have the Franklin halves, same thing, pretty much. You can see that even though they're higher grade, it kind of reflects the fact that Walking Liberty halves were still more desirable than Franklin halves at the time. There's a lot of things you can see and you can get that's not said, but it's implied here. And the 40 Kennedy halves, look, I mean, these are 1964s. Like, I would just put them all, together, 275 each. That's it. And then there's 764 at 275. Maybe you found some more. And then the 40%'s dollar, just double face, 40%. And quarters, as you can see, $1.25 each. Barber quarters, $2 each. See, because they're Barber quarters, he offered more. Standing quarters were the same as Washington quarters as far as the way he felt in value-wise. Could be condition, too. Condition was the thing he was considering. And here's some more of the Franklin halves. And he totaled this page at $1,330. Then we have some more miscellaneous things like dimes, 5 rolls of Mercury dimes, 60 cents each. And just a Barber quarter, $1.25, 344 Roosevelt dimes at 50 cents each. So just remember, it's 5.10 an ounce. And Canadian, Seated Liberty. And on this page, some more type coins. And things like seated dimes, I mean, we're $15 and up. I mean, it just depends on the condition. That's how we rolled with it. 8 rolls of V nickels, 50 cents. That's pretty much the same for circulated. There was an 85. And he had it at 90, which is pretty much where we were at on it, because it wasn't AG. It's actually PO1 or FR2, Fair 2. It's kind of a lower grade than an AG. So we were at $80, I believe, on it. But it was authentic, which is a good thing. 114 Buffalo nickels at 22 cents a piece. A lot of those have dates. No dates. You said 10 cents a piece. No dates. We're pretty much 10 cents a piece. That hasn't changed much. They're just Buffalo nickels they're a dime a dozen, honestly. And 50 cents each on the Indian heads, about the same as we are now. Sometimes we'll pay $1. Just depends. War nickels, 40 cents each. We're pretty much around $1.50 on those right now, up to $2. Let's see, 17 wheat cents roll, 17 rolls, 90 cents each roll, or at least $1 a roll. Now I have to start paying more. It's going to be harder to get them here if people hoarding them. And then, of course, you had some foreign stuff there. And the total it came to was $2,081. Well, this is what we came up with. $8,500 is what we paid for it. But there was a couple things that I didn't show we're going to look at. We're actually going to look at them. It wasn't on there. And Black Eagle, pretty nice. You're looking at something we'd pay about $100 for in that range, 80 to $100 in that condition. Then a really rare, it's scalloped, red seal, $10. That's a nice note right there. Condition's a little rough on it. And then we have this Philadelphia national currency. It's kind of cool. I just showed the reverse of that, did I? It's really cool there. Then this one. This is Bradentown, and they changed the name. It's not Bradentown now. So what I did was I got on Heritage and looked this up, and they were selling for a few $1,000s. So what I'm going to do, I'm sending this to PMG, and this will be extra on top of the 8,500. You know, it's something I'll do every once in a while, but this is special. This one could be a $4,000 note, depending on the grade. It might be more, I don't know, but it's a little cut wrong, so it's got a little bit of damage. I'm not sure how they'll penalize it, but I didn't want to make an offer until I got this checked out because it's special. You know, that town doesn't exist. I mean, it exists, but it doesn't exist under that name anymore, so I thought it's pretty cool. So I think it needs preserved as it is. So that's what we're going to do with that. You know, most of these were, you know, circulated coins, low grade. And we can look at a few of them here, but there's just not a whole lot to it. There's the 03S that was on the list. And, you know, Silver Eagles, you know, back then you can buy them for, you know, a little over melt from the dealer. So you're looking at $6. I remember doing it. That's one of the things I do remember. Dad and I went up to Allen's in 89, 88. We bought a couple rolls of 80s, 89s, 88s, or 90s, whatever was coming out. I think it might have been one of those dates, but we bought several of those different dates because we started buying them when they came out, and we was paying $6. Dad's selling them for $6.50 to $7 a piece. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think Allen might have been charging $6.50 a piece. It's something like that. You make 50 cents to $1 on them. And here's some of the type stuff in there, the seededs. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I look at a lot of these. And 1921. It's not a bad piece dollar there. Now, he put down $30 on this. And it's easily a $100 coin. You know, it's worth more than that, but what we pay for it. So that's nice. And it's problem free too. It's like a nice one there. And then here's some of the silver dollars. And it's just your normal stuff. That's why I didn't really show too much of it here. Some of them are in nice condition. You know, $44 coins. 45 maybe. Some of them not so. Being the 21s there. So I wanted to show a few of the coins, just kind of some of the better ones there. You got your CCs. So anyways, looking at the 90cc, that looks like maybe a VAM 4. That's tail bar die gouge. So it's in a lower grade condition. There's the other 90cc. It's always nice to find a VAM that's worth a little bit more. Pretty cool. $2,081.08. When you adjust it for inflation from 1989, it's actually $5,410. So putting these coins back and collecting them, obviously got them as pocket change. So that definitely held their value. If you would have paid $2,081 for this collection back in 1989, you would have beat inflation. It'd been a good hedge against inflation. Let's just put it that way. So anyways, thanks for watching my latest video. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a little different of a format here, trying to show you a very neat, and I told Steve, I said, this is your dad's. You need to frame this. This is really cool. So anyways, please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.